Okay, so if you want a dinner recipe that tastes like you spent all day making it when you absolutely did not spend all day making it, this is your recipe. What's up? Today we are making country style ribs braised in an amazing onion gravy, and then we're just gonna slather that all over homemade mashed potatoes. Because that gravy needs to go somewhere, and mashed potatoes is where it's gonna go. That's what we're working on today. Okay, so we are starting with our ribs. These are country style ribs. I have boneless ribs. You can purchase them with the bone in there. Not a fan of that. The flavor is a little more intense, but you're picking bones out. That's just not my thing. What we're going to do is we're going to start with seasoning our ribs. Now, this is my favorite seasoning. If you have a favorite, use that. This is Slap Your Mama. And I am a huge fan of this. This is red pepper, black pepper, black pepper, garlic, salt. It's very salty. Okay, so keep that in mind when you are seasoning, if you are using it. But it's just a really great base of flavor to get our gravy started. So let's go do that.
Generously season your ribs, both sides, please.
Okay, so the number one rule of this little game that we're playing is flavor, all right? That's what we want to do. We want to build different layers of flavor, and at the end, it's all going to just taste ridiculously amazing. And that's what makes people think that you've been cooking for hours and hours on this dish, and you're really just done in a couple of hours. Got our country style ribs seasoned up, okay? They are beautiful. We are going to add them and start browning them.
Start by adding vegetable oil or bacon grease to a pan and also adding 2 tablespoons of butter. Let that melt, and then you're going to go ahead and add your ribs. Add all of your ribs directly into that and let them sear for 3 to 4 minutes on each side until you have a beautiful brown crust on both sides of your ribs.
Okay, now on to the really good part, the gravy. I don't know about you, but the gravy is always my favorite part. We are doing a very simple onion gravy, okay? Nothing fancy, no crazy ingredients, probably everything you already have in your pantry right now, all right? This is just simply a roux, some beef broth, a ton of onions, and some seasonings, and then you're just gonna let this go low and slow, and it's gonna turn into like the best gravy, I promise you that. Okay, so what I have here are 2 sweet onions. You can use yellow onions, you can use sweet onions, whatever you have on hand is fine. You're not gonna make a mistake if you're using one kind of onion versus another. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start slicing these. You're going to slice them thin. There is no, magical, mathematical, scientific, dimension of how thin you should slice these. If you struggle with slicing onions super thin, don't stress about it, okay? It's all going to go into the gravy. It's all going to get all soft and yummy. We're going to caramelize things. It's going to be amazing. So don't stress on whether or not you're cutting them thin enough, okay? So start by taking off the peel. We all know this. If Food Network taught me nothing else, Rachel Ray, garbage bowl, game changer. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, have a bowl off to the side where you can just put all your trash items when you're cooking. It just makes cleanup a heck of a lot easier. And you're welcome. That was your daily tip from Heather. All right, so go ahead and take the peel off, take the skin off. And if you're wondering what side you should ever start with, see that side, and it's all like, roots and such, whatever, however you want to say it, cut the other side. If you cut this side, everything kind of falls apart. If you cut the part that does not look like a root system, your onion kind of stays intact a little bit longer. All right, let's get the skin off, peel that, and let's get cutting. This right here is probably the most labor-intensive part of the entire recipe.
Using a cutting board and a very sharp knife, carefully slice your onions as thin as you are able to.
Now, to fully caramelize onions, a lot of times it can take up to an hour, okay? We're not trying to do that. We don't have that kind of time. We're not trying to put that much commitment into caramelizing onions. But we're going to cook them for about 15-20 minutes, and that's going to be enough to get a really nice color on them, really develop the flavor. Your gravy base is going to be amazing, and then we're going to add the broth in. We're going to add all the seasonings. We're going to add the ribs back in, and then we're just going to leave it alone. We're going to step away. We're going to break up with it for about 2 hours or so, and when they are done, oh my word, is it amazing. In go the onions. Be careful. Watch the splatter. Now, this is a commitment, all right? You're in a relationship now, right now with onions. You're not going to let these sit by themselves for the next 15, 20 minutes. You're not going to go get on the phone. You're not going to take your dogs outside. You're not going to go start the laundry, okay? You're going to go ahead and you're in the very committed relationship with your onions right now. You want to keep them moving. You've got this is on probably medium high. And you're just going to go ahead, you're going to separate all your little onion rings so everybody's separate. You're going to let them sit in that flavored butter and oil. They're going to start cooking down. You're going to see a lot of steam start coming up. Onions are going to release a lot of the water, okay? That's inherently in them. That's fine. That's what you want. So don't be alarmed if all of a sudden it starts, you know, steaming up all over the place. But yeah, don't walk away from them. You guys are together now.
As everything evaporates, you're going to notice a very dark crust of flavor on the bottom of that pan. That's exactly what you want. Just keep your onions moving so that they don't burn.
Okay, so these are beautiful now. And what we're going to do is now we're going to start really making the gravy, okay? I have 4 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, okay? In right on top of all that. Stir it all in. We're going to let this cook for about a minute, all right? You want to cook that flour taste out. It's going to look very gluey and very icky, and that's fine, all right? Just keep stirring it around. That flour and the butter and the oil and all the things is going to make it very thick, and it's going to be perfect. So now I'm going to add 3 cups of beef broth into the party, okay? And then just keep stirring. Any clumps that were working their way through with the onions, with the flour, just go ahead and break all that up. Now, let's go ahead and start seasoning. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of the good stuff here. 1,000 different ways to say it. We're going to call it Worcestershire. Add that in there. We're going to go ahead and add a little bit of ground thyme. We're going to add onion powder, because we add onion powder to everything. Of course, even though you already have the onions in there. Garlic powder. Little bit, oopsie, a little bit of smoked paprika. A little more smoked paprika. Let me see here. We are going to add about a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. And before anyone argues with me, that acidity is needed, okay? It's going to cut through all the richness and all the heaviness and the thickness and all the things. Do about a healthy teaspoon of Grey Poupon. A little bit of Dijon mustard going on in there. Whole lot of pepper. About a teaspoon of pepper. Now you're seeing I'm not putting any salt in here, not actual, salt. Two things that I will say are optional in this gravy recipe, but that of course I add them because I love them. 2 things. Number 1, a little bit of liquid smoke. If you have it, great. If you don't go, putting your hair up in a bun and putting your slides on and going out to the store at midnight just to get a little teaspoon of liquid smoke. It's going to add a really great back note of smokiness to this gravy. But if you don't have it on hand, honestly, don't stress about it. And the next thing, and this is my favorite thing, is Better Than Bouillon chicken paste. I use this in everything. Absolutely everything. I'd probably put this in cereal if I could. It's one of the reasons why we're not going to be adding any extra salt to this at this time. It's very salty. It's got a great flavor. It's not like you're like, wow, that really tastes like chicken. No, it's just got a really great flavor and adds a lot to really any dish you add it to. I add it to macaroni and cheese. I add it to pasta. I add it to meatloaf. I add it to my chicken meatballs, anything. So highly recommend. But again, if you don't have it on hand, don't worry about it, okay? Now we're going to go ahead and stir all that together. It already looks like it's getting a little thicker, and we like that. At the end of this recipe, if this gravy is not thick enough for where we want it, then we're just going to go ahead and do a real easy cornstarch slurry, okay? You know, everybody has different preferences. If you like your gravy a little bit thinner, excellent. If you like it a little bit thicker, excellent. One way or the other will get you where you need to be. Now, our job now is to ignore this. This is where dinner pretty much starts making itself. And let's be honest, that's my favorite kind of dinner. We're going to put the lid on. We're going to go ahead, keep this going on, say, a medium heat. We're not going to get we're not worried about a big, huge boiling it. We're not trying to boil it. We're going to braise it low and slow. So you want medium, low, medium. You want a very gentle bubble coming up through your gravy, but nothing too aggressive, okay? You're not going to take the lid off. You're not going to try to stir it. You're not going to try to change anything. You're just going to let it go and let it do its thing. And we're going to check on this around hour 2.5 is probably where we want to be at. But we're going to start looking around 2, see if the ribs are done. And then we're going to finish it off and it's going to be time to eat.
While those ribs finish cooking, we're going to make some mashed potatoes. And yes, I'm leaving the skins on because this isn't Christmas and I am lazy. Boil your potatoes until they're fork tender, drain them, mash them with butter, warm milk, salt, and pepper, and then that's it. Nothing fancy. They're just simply there to hold the gravy anyway.
The meat is just falling apart in the very best way. So the gravy is beautiful, but it is just a little bit thinner than what I like. This part is not a requirement, okay? If you like your gravy at the consistency that this delivers as you make it, awesome. Just run with that and don't give it a second thought. I like mine just a little bit thicker. I don't want that gravy to go anywhere. I want that gravy to stick to your bones, okay? I like a thicker gravy. So what I have is 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and about a cup of milk here. And what I'm going to do is we're going to make a little slurry. And to do that, you just take your little whisk all that together. And what that cornstarch is going to do when it heats up and kind of bubbles up on this gravy here is it's going to thicken it up. And that's what I want. So I'm going to pour that in. Beautiful. You stir this all together. And as this boils for a little bit, it's going to thicken up. Again, this is not a mandatory part. This isn't a mandatory step. If you are totally happy with how your gravy comes out as is, you can avoid this step altogether. I just know myself, I like my gravy a little thicker. And the thing is, can we make it thicker from the get-go? Yeah, absolutely we can. We add more flour, we go that route, but then you're running the risk of it getting too thick. You know what I mean? You never know exactly how much water those onions are going to give off. You never really know how much, braising liquid is going to be left over with the ribs. So I would rather my gravy to start out a little thin and me be allowed to thicken it up versus making it really thick and then you end up with like something gloppy that you just can't save at all. That's just me. That's just me. Okay, so about 5 minutes have gone by and this gravy is substantially thicker and that makes me happy. So this is the perfect consistency. We are doing good things. Now, the final thing we're going to do is taste it. You always want to taste your food before you serve it to somebody else, okay? You want to make sure that the salt is on point, the acid is on point, everything is on point, and that's exactly what we're going to do. If something is undersalted or underseasoned, you don't want to serve that to somebody. You want to make sure it's perfect, right? So we're going to go ahead and, oh my Lord, that's so thick now. That is perfect. You know what? Let's just make sure we get a bite too. Look at that. Oi, 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 oi. It's also very hot. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect in every way. Okay. I'm going to say we probably need more pepper. We don't even need more pepper. Well, you know what? You never really know until you 100% try it. So let's just go ahead and do this. Just be on the safe side. Make sure everything's good. You don't want to serve anything unpleasant to somebody else. So might as well go ahead and taste it yourself. All right. Just give this a proper taste. Look at that. Oh my word. That right there is the reason why mashed potatoes were invented. That right there is the job that mashed potatoes was made for. Honestly, the deliverance of gravy and all of that tender ribs and oh yeah. This is the perfect. This is when you want an inexpensive comfort food lollapalooza that tastes like you did a whole ton of work when you really honestly didn't. This is just, yeah, this is just the bomb diggity. This is awesome. And if you make this, let me know how it turned out. Let me know how you like it. And if you like inexpensive, easy, amazing comfort food recipes, stick around. That's what we pretty much do here. All right, well, I'm going to go and shove all of this in my face now because I can't not eat this entire plate. And yeah, I hope you had a good time. If you liked it, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, be well.